Training Program Evaluation on Mixed Martial Arts, Scientific Application to Coaching 2. A training session was constructed from the microcycle, which has a specific focus on resistance and plyometric strength and power training. The session will consist of four exercises which target various different muscle groups which are needed for a mixed martial arts performer. The training session is constructed via a table chart in which includes the activity, amount of sets, and repetitions for each activity, the intensity followed by time allocated for rest periods. When evaluating the first exercise of deadlifts, the process was broken down into biomechanics, specific muscle adaptations, and neurological adaptations. The deadlift can be classified according to the technique sumo, conventional, stiff-legged, or Romanian style. The deadlift and its variations have been reviewed many times on performance, leading to a range of suggestions regarding performance. The deadlift technique which was observed was the controversial deadlift. This is due to the specific contribution to power enhancement which can be applied into mixed martial arts. When performing any sport which relies heavily on the demand of knees, hip, and trunk extensors, it is highly beneficial to incorporate deadlifts into training program to enhance strength factors in various different muscle groups. When considering the biomechanical aspects which contribute to a deadlift, it is firstly essential to adapt the correct technique, stance, and lift when performing the exercise. Research suggests that preferred lift technique in a deadlift is a leg stiff method. The controversial deadlift style uses a narrower stance of around 32 to 33 centimeters and involves a placement of the hands on the barbell inside and the stance feet. When examining the athlete, certain aspects seem to repeatedly occur, such as footwork and technique-based errors. When performing the deadlift, the athlete on the third set, which was the heaviest set, placed all momentum onto his toes instead of staying flat-footed. The squat is one of the most frequently used exercises in the field of strength and power training. The squat has biomechanical and neuromuscular similarities which apply to a wide range of athletic movements. Therefore, it has been included as a core exercise in many sports routines designed to enhance athletic performance. The squat has been suggested by Fry, Smith, and Snyding of being one of the most beneficial exercises that one can do due to the ability to recruit muscle groups in a single maneuver. The squat relies on most of the lower body muscularities, including the quadriceps femoris, hip extensors, hip adductors, hip adductors, and gluteus maximus. When evaluating the athlete whilst performing a squat exercise, the technique was applied correctly until resistance was higher. This resulted in the athlete losing form and the squat wasn't performed at the great standard. These aspects may be due to the strength build-up in the lower half of the body. The athlete can contribute to enhancing leg strength by applying more dynamic power exercises to the lower body, for example takedowns in a sparring situation. We then progress this drill to a standard squat to make the exercise harder and focus more on core elements such as coordination, balance, and stabilization, which are all contributing factors when discussing the needs of a mixed martial arts performer. By this, we did one leg barbell squat. Plyometrics was contributed into the training plan when applying the component with push-ups. The exercise consists of a standard push-ups whilst a power pushing momentum against the ground to lift the athlete into the air and back. The reasoning plyometrics component was adapted into the push-up exercise was to enhance the stretch to the pectoral major and triceps. Whilst performing a push-up, the muscle components included are the pectorals, frontal deltoids, and triceps. The athlete maintained an adequate standard of performance, applying maximum effort into each repetition. Reps and sets. The American College of Sports Medicine recommendation for hypertrophy are that novice trainers perform 8 to 12 reps for 1 to 3 sets per body apart, resting for 1 to 2 minutes and training 2 to 3 times a week, whereas advanced trainees are directed to use 70% to 100% of their 1 rep max for 3 to 6 sets, with varying rest periods depending on goals. The repetition aimed for during this process were 8 for a period of 3 sets, working at an intensity of 75% of 1 rep max. During each set, a recovery period of 3 minutes is initially set out. The American College of Sport Medicine suggested that when training at maximal strength, rest periods between 2 to 5 minutes should be allocated. Printer, Lephart and Kronoka demonstrated that resting 3 minutes between each set will result in case of greater peak torque in the quadriceps and hamstrings. This will benefit the athlete when applying quick strikes from the legs and increase the force application to an opponent. Nutritional guidance. Mixed martial arts is a weight category dependent sport, and its athletes often attempt to maintain a body weight that is relatively close to their fighting class. However, they frequently experience moderate to high levels of training intensity, long-term lack of recovery, and habitual state of nutritional defect as part of their training, fight prep, and competition. As a result, their body fat percentages remain relatively low, 6 to 13%. However, they must also be able to retain a relatively high level of certain biomechanical capacities in order to maintain their competitiveness in the sport. If they are not capable of accomplishing both variables successfully, a marked decrease in their performance is likely. The nutritional guidance I would apply to the athlete would be when training on anaerobic and aerobic exercises to ensure that before an efficient amount of carbohydrates are consumed. This will contribute to the burn of glucose and fat storage in the muscles without relying on muscle storage. When considering essential fats, I would advise the performer to consume mixed nuts before each training session to enable an omega-3 supply to the body. The intake of protein will consist on the exercises, although the athlete should look to consume approximately 2 grams per pound of body weight. It would be advised to consume 1 gallon of water daily to maintain hydration throughout the training session and lifestyle routines. These are photos from the training program.